Leo is on the air. This radio program of symphonic music is dedicated to the world's most exciting love story, Romeo and Juliet, starring Norma Shearer and Leslie Howard. We bring you the glorious music of Romeo and Juliet, composed and directed by Herbert Stoppard, recently named among the 10 foremost American composers up to date. At the conclusion of the theme march, we will hear the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Symphonic Orchestra, directed by Mr. Stoppard, in the musical prelude to Romeo and Juliet. Musical research for Romeo and Juliet occupied many months. The entire world was searched for early musical instruments, that authentic musical backgrounds be provided for the picture. In New York, Mr. Stothard located several ancient pipe-like musical instruments called recorders. Then followed a search for musicians who could play them. Now we hear the result. We hear the youthful artists as they sing the festival music for the Italian feast day. Romeo and Juliet is the love story of all time. For hundreds of years, sweethearts of all nations have thrilled to the unforgettable and golden beauty of this most inspired of romances. Now we are privileged to present the balcony scene of Romeo and Juliet, as played by Norma Shearer and Leslie Howard.
Soft floodlight through yonder window breaks. It's the east, and Juliet is the sun. 'Tis my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. For if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized.
What man art thou, that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I all perch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out. For what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear, that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
My heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden. Too like the lightning which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet good night.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
Oh, I gave thee mine before thou didst request it. And yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again. My bounty is as boundless as a sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have. For both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. 1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light.
Romeo, Romeo.
'Tis my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears. My dear.
I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till I remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I loved thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird, 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 yet no further than a wanton's bird. Who lets it hop a little, who lets it hop a little from her hand, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving, jealous of his liberty?
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
You have heard a musical program of selections from the world's finest motion picture, Romeo and Juliet, which stars Norma Shearer as Juliet, Leslie Howard as Romeo, and with a splendid supporting cast including John Barrymore, Edna May Oliver, Basil Rathbone, C. Aubrey Smith, Reginald Denny, Ralph Forbes, Andy Devine, and hundreds of others. Romeo and Juliet has won the highest acclaim from hundreds of critics from coast to coast. Wrote Walter Winchell. Romeo and Juliet, beautifully portrayed by Norma Shearer and Leslie Howard in The Boy Meets Girl Assignment, and artfully directed by George Cukor, is something to embrace affectionately. The United Press called it beautiful and sincere. The Kansas City Star declared, Norma Shearer surpasses every Juliet of this generation. The stage never dreamed such a magnificent production, said the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The whole town is talking about Norma Shearer's Juliet, was the opinion of the critic for Universal Service. Jim Tully wrote, Romeo and Juliet is the peak of two careers, Irving Thalberg's and Norma Shearer's. Said Anita Luce, the picture sparkles with 1,000 points of achievement. And so on all sides, the most lavish praise for Romeo and Juliet, the most exciting of all love stories.